another weekly preview. It's AK47 Josh Smith Trades here on Instagram, over at tradecaster.com. Prime trading investments, which you need to be getting those alerts in the morning from me. Those have been paying off big time, and I want to get straight into it. The small cap plays from this past week, just real quickly, and what you guys can be looking forward to this coming week. So let's go over here. Of course, this week coming ahead, it is the 12th through the 16th. Real quickly, let's go through our trades all week long, starting back on Monday, waking up early enough to ultimately destroy and karate chop BRTX in half. And what you guys need to be noticing in small cap world, that when these plays pop up and that VWAP, which is my purple band, it's got an upper and lower band. If you want to know what these extra lines are real quickly, that is an upper VWAP band, that is a lower VWAP band. This is the VWAP. You can see when I hover over it, it lights up. It shows up here that that's the purple color. And then it even shows you kind of right here what my light blue color would be, which is my 9 EMA, which I use that for the Thanos crossover with this entered everything just like I wanted it to. So BRTX, I kind of was alerting this on Monday morning here and saying, man, that VWAP's caught it underneath before we cracked VWAP. Old resistance becomes support. It should just dump through that. And it cracked right through it, came down, built another shelf here. I call it a shelf. You went into like a 1 minute time frame, you could really see it here where it was really starting to build up right through here at about 375. I also see what? A head and shoulders. So not only have a head and shoulders, we've cracked the old support area, which was once resistance. The VWAP as well, so we're definitely showing as bearish. Now 25 cents below the VWAP, performing the rest of what could be the head and shoulders on the way down here. And I said, everyone in chat, under 375, watch for the short down. And I called it all the way down to $3. Actually hit it on the dot. And again, why? We're under the VWAP. The VWAP has raised. I'm going to show you more examples here. VWAP has raced up, has caught it. We're now cracking it below it. Forming a head and shoulders below the VWAP. Entering, as you can see here, below the MACD line is below the signal line. We're below the 9 EMA. That is your Thanos crossover playing out to perfection here. Let's go to the next day. The very next day, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was I forgot what, maybe was it GLT possibly? I think it was GLT. So GLT here. Shorted this a couple times in pre-market. The main one was with everybody live in chat. This may have been actually Wednesday's play, but maybe it was Wednesday's play. We're gonna go through them all. But again, look what happened. The VWAP races up, catches it. This play goes from $1.30 up to $3, up a good amount. We know that's a good 100% move there for essentially overall from top to bottom. But that VWAP immediately races up with it. Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. I know this is going to be a juicy short. And everyone in chat said, hey, watch for this micro trend line to VWAP crack. I got in at 2. I remember it was 259 actually when I got in here. Candlestick confirm. Got a damn good entry. Whammy, right on down it came. I locked up my profit. Came up, and I knew I should have held it. Came up, reversed off the old trend line up, reversed off of it. Didn't even candlestick confirm with the VWAP. And then we reshorted again down here, of course, under 330. We had a little 330 kind of shelf got built up. And we shorted it right here, baby, all the way down to 2. Again, VWAP caught the play. Let's go over to my 2 H plays that I know were just money this week. HSDT. Money, money, money. Look at this same thing. This play races up from 7 to 11. Look at the VWAP, immediately up with it at $10. Nice whole round number. Now, I wasn't shorting this. I waited until right here. We built up a nice shelf at $9.50, and then again here at $9. Easy money right here. And look how far below when we cracked $9. I was in this all the way down through the 8s. It was a $1 plus move for me. There was a trend line crack right here. I think that's maybe where I originally got in, was that trend line crack right there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I have to go back and look to see where my entries were. I can't remember this on Lightspeed. But beautiful short trend line crack below the VWAP. Whammy. Right on down we go. Money, 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 money. Look how far it goes down all the way. And HSDT. Look at this. Back to 5. Back below where it actually was. HKIT was another gorgeous, easy short this week for me. I had 4. 4 for 4 in small caps. All in pre-mark. Well, most were in pre-mark. That one was at the opening bell too. But HKIT here. Again, with one of those plays where VWAP finally catches it. Now, we had a good 650 shelf crack, and that's where I originally got in here, making our way down to the VWAP. Well, then here at the opening bell, and I told everyone in chat, and of course you can see here under 550, I mean, look at that. You held a bull flag that went to new high of day. Then you came down and bounced off of that again. As I always said, it's kind of like the beast showing its face, so to speak. That's money. Look at the crack. Once we finally candlestick down and boom, we're through it and we're dumping. And then we never get back over it and we dump all the way down, almost all the way back down where we started from. Not fully yet. But again, when that VWAP catches that play and you have now found that opening bell or pre-market and that VWAP has caught the play every single time. And the faster it catches, the better. The faster it catches, the better. Like this play right here on GLT. Right on up, catch the BRTX was another gorgeous play where I'm like, man, team. I know it doesn't look pretty here in pre-market, but that's what I was telling traders in chat. Like I'm telling you, because it was dead on Monday morning. I said, team, there's a play and I called it both ways. There's a play that's going to spike because this had this and was creeping up. And I called it up to the long side. I was like, about a 4, over 4. I forgot what exactly I called it to, and I went over it and went to 465. And I'm like, man, that VWAP's doing a really good job catching up with it. Keep your eye on that team. Every time the VWAP catches a play here in pre-market, I promise you, you're going to get a very good short. Now, HKit's one of the worst examples, honestly, because it took a minute, but you get like HSDT. Are you kidding? Right with it, right up with it. I'll get more of these, and I'll give you a lesson on these coming up soon. Now, let's get to the large caps. To the large caps and what to expect here moving up. And who called it? Who called it? Who called it? Been calling it for weeks. 500 magnet, 500 magnet, 500 magnet for the SPY. So what do we do this week? Well, this week to me is kind of like the in-between week, really, now that all the earnings reports are done. The big ones up until really, for the most part, NVDA, so we kind of have a week off. This is where I think we teeter-totter, in my opinion, and SPY kind of goes up and down and just can't really figure out where it wants to go to. Honestly, I don't think we go too much this week, in my opinion. I think it's a choppier week until NVDA comes out. When that earnings report comes out, and I've been saying this, and of course when I give my weekly preview next weekend, which by the way, we're off next Monday. We'll have a 4-day week. So that'll also, I think, help because Monday we're off and we kind of just go right into, I think it's like that first day of trading. I think it's that first day, that Tuesday is the earning report for NVDA. And I think that Tuesday could serve as a Monday and it goes parabolic. And I think NVDA, if we've seen Meta, real quickly, if we see Meta go from essentially an $80 spike, literally $90 really in the end from top to bottom, $490 or $395 to $485. That's $90. We're still up how much, right? So let's go over to ARM. ARM was another one. Let's go to ARM. This goes up $50 from top to bottom on its ER, from 75 to 125 essentially. If ARM can go 50, Meta can go 80, you better believe NVDA can go 100, if not 150. So at this point where NVDA's at, let's just say we maintain the 700s or somewhere through here, which again, who called this? To 700 and probably above last week. It just was a lock. Here we are Friday, so I don't see what Monday morning's like, but this is Friday, and I said, what? Guarantee you, NVDA 700. Boom, here we are. Boom. So at this point, if we continue, I've said in chat, and I've alerted to you guys, 850 is a lock. 850 to 875, in my opinion, is a lock for NVDA. I'm actually looking to get in shares. I'm not going to do, I may do contracts and go further out, trying to figure out what I want to do, but going small, just do like 10 shares, like a contract or two, just to see if I'm not right with NVDA and that it just doesn't go parabolic, and I think it will. SPY does as well. So in the meantime, until then, I think, again, this week is a little bit of a lull, dull week. Could be a little bit like this most of the days, Monday, Tuesday of last week. And then even Thursday was really, and I talked about this, another thing to talk about, real quick little mini lesson, which I'll give to you guys again, a longer one down the line. Upper and lower VWAP band, team. I talked about this all day on Thursday. If that upper and lower VWAP band are running side to side like this all day long and are not expanding apart from one another, or at least one's moving away from the other one, which we finally got here the other day, but I even came in at the end of the bell and said, hey, or whatever this was. Said, hey, I think it was right before the, right when power hour hit. Called this out, said, hey, these bands are starting to move a little bit, but I guarantee you this is still not going to move much. In my opinion, I guarantee you we still don't go. And boom! Now, we did start getting some range, but again, look at the range. It is $1, but that's all we did all day long. We just ranged about $1. And so pay attention to what those bands are doing. When those bands start to pull apart, the SPY can go. Now, we're all, again, levels for next week. I would say over 50160. Watch for a pop-up overall to possibly, in my opinion, and we know in big numbers, 50250, 50350, then to 505. Over 505 to 50750, 50875 to 510. I don't see the SPY getting any higher. Now, let's just go to last week. We started off right around 493, right? We didn't even go up $10. I don't see us going any higher than 510 this week. 510 would be the cap for me. Now to the bottom side. Watch for a move back under 500, which will be significant, and this area right here at 499.30. Then you're working your way down to the reversal area, which was also the high of day on Wednesday and Thursday, which was 498.50, 498.75 area. Below that, you're then heading down to Wednesday or Thursday's low of day, 497.25, 497 or 496.75 after that in this little area. Then you're down to last Friday, or Friday before last, I guess I should word it now, high of day, which is right at 496. If we get any lower than that, it's going to take us somewhere around 494. You can see through this area right through here. I don't see us getting any lower than 494 to 492. 10 up, 10 down, somewhere in that area. Maybe back down to 490, but it just, I really don't see us going that low. I see us kind of really hovering around 500, 498, 499, back over 500, 501, 503, back to 500, just hovering. We'll see, but I think we get a little chop back and forth like this. Like, say if the chart went this way, but obviously we go out to the right. But say, for days moving forward, say this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I bet we do this. And then we go, and then, and then, something like that. Just, or maybe even up. Maybe I didn't go up high enough, but, maybe we go down some, but then we go up some. I could just see a lot of just kind of hovering through this area right here, somewhere through here. 503-ish, I'll give it to 497. Let's just see if I'm not right. We get a lot of 497, maybe down to 496, but 497 to 503 fluctuation this week. Over to the rest of the large cap plays, Apple really kind of stuck in that sideways maneuver, and I think it stays that way this week as well. Again, Apple, until it gets back over 491, 492, I think we can maybe finally start running again there. We just been in this weird little channel right here. That we had this, of course, with the earnings report, but then right here is where this kind of channel's been, right through that area, 198 or 188 to 191. We get through 191 and then to 192. I think that's when this could start going again. So again, over 191, watch for a move to 192 this week. Over 192 to 192.60, 75, 193.20 after that. Over that to 194. As much as we've done this, I don't see us getting any higher than, honestly, this week, 193 to 194. Back, and honestly, until NVDA earnings comes out, and I think we have a big bull push in the market again overall. Under 188, possibly down right here to, of course, Thursday's low of day, 188 or 187.50. Then down to Tuesday's low of day, 187. Of course, you can see a lot of kind of touches through there. Then down to 185, or 186, I should say, and possibly down to 185. I'd say about 3-4 up, 3-4 down. Maybe 193, 194 at most. I'm going more like 192, 193. And on the bottom side, I don't think we get any lower than 185, maybe down to 184. AMD, again, could be a little choppier this week as well. Was getting to become a bigger mover. And then since the earnings report, there are certain days, but boy, it has had choppier days, and it's starting to it's just getting to that point where traders are really not, where it's, surely showing interest on which side it's going, up, down, up, down. Like NVDA, up, right? We can see a lot of these plays have kind of hit that stalemate, even Meta after earnings, which we'll get to it. Over 174 and this 175, watch for a pop-up through 176 to 177.50, then 178.75, roll somewhere through here. That looks to be really strong resistance up to what we know next is 180. I just don't see us get any higher than this area this week, 178.75 to 180. Big short area you can see is pretty nice right here, right through about right there, low of day on Friday, on Thursday, almost on Wednesday as well. We cracked through it very nicely on Tuesday. Go back to the week before right here, so that line right about 168.75, crucial. That'd be a great crack zone. Back on down, in my opinion, all the way down to 166. Under 166, definitely touching the 165, and then possibly down into the 162, 160 area. I don't think we'd pull back that much with AMD this week, honestly. I would say somewhere around 165 to 164 is going to be my low for AMD for the week if we get any fluctuation to the bottom side. ARM, keep this one on watch after the earnings report. It was usually a slow mover. Did not move much, as you can tell. It was really a gross play. I didn't like it. Now, after the earnings report, we're moving a little bit here, team. So I'll kind of throw it out there for the weekly watch list. Again, over 117.80, watch for a pop to 120, and then up to 122.50, 85 area here, 123. Over that, we should race to 125 and that high of day of 126.50. Now, over that, ARM has room to 128.75, then to 130. Notice the bands, too, when they expand, how you can move. And when they finally flatten out, you're either going to go down or you're going to start fluctuating and chopping more. Your move up is done at that point, as you can tell. Flatten out, move up, done. Even though it looks like we got more room to run, this ain't going to happen. I'd say overall, I think over 126, we'll call it 127. Room to 130. I think overall ARM could still have, I think it easily could have, like it did. You even here on Friday, $10 day. I think they'll slowly get smaller maybe, but average about $10 days or so. I think ARM could get up to about, honestly, this week over 126. Could see about 135, 140. I just think we get some fluctuation, and a lot of these plays, they start dying off, which will, again, get into meta. They'll have some good days, but then they'll have some real choppy days. I'd say somewhere around 140. It might get to 150. It just seems like a lot of these plays, when they have a huge gap up on these earnings reports, they have movement some days, but they just can't get higher. The only one that's done it's even Netflix. Even most of them haven't. Most of them. I think Microsoft maybe now is finally getting back up through, but you get my point. Not many are doing it. So I could honestly, in my opinion, I could easily see this fluctuating somewhere between $100 to $125 to $130ish or so for the week. Maybe make a new high, but I could see some fluctuation here. Big things to crack of that trend on Friday. So really back under, in my opinion, key area is about 112.50, right about right there. If you crack that again, you're definitely heading down to 110. 110 then will be crucial where you can head down to 107 and possibly down to 100. I don't think we get any lower than 100 this week. Let's go over to, I forgot about Amazon. I didn't put it in there. Amazon, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And if you guys saw that on Friday, massive, finally a good move up here. I didn't take the profit, but I will finally start taking some profit on Amazon. I expect, hopefully now, this is another one after earnings, right? See how that chop for about a week after earnings? So ARM could do that chop. Still get some good moving days maybe, but it just chop in that range. Over 175 for Amazon, 178.75 to 180. I think Amazon could possibly get up to 182.50 this week at most. Now to the bottom side, let's see if we can't hopefully hold this 174.50 mark we're at, which was actually that high that we created on the run up on after earnings. The other thing that'll be crucial is just 174, then down to 174 to 172.50, which is also the high in the run afterward, that day afterward, which we bounced there on Friday. If we crack that, we're down through 172, down to 171, right through here. I don't see us getting any lower than 171 to 170 this week. Goog was another one. It's finally starting to pop up there on Friday as well in that slow up trend. I talked about this. Hopefully back over the areas of 147, 48. We get moving again. It took a couple of days, and we finally got going on Friday. I would say over that 150.70 mark we created on Friday could possibly work its way all the way back on up to 152.70, maybe to 154 for the week. Back under 150 will be huge and could crack all the way back down to 148 and all the way back down to 147.20. I just don't see us getting any lower than 147 or so. Meta, another great example of earnings and then sit sideways. Has some movier type moments. We move, but we're still just stuck in this channel. We kind of find a low, we have the top, and then we stick through it. Key areas right here, massive key area, 465.40. Watch for 465.40 for the move down to 460, and then possibly, because you can see 460 is going to be key, under 460 to 458.75 rule. Under that, we'll find our way all the way down to 452.53 area, down through 455. That is also going to be, to me, the low of the week. I don't think we will get lower than that, and I think we surge and push up. In my opinion, watch for Meta to hit 500 this coming week. Over 475 for a pop to 480 to 485. Over 485, we know the magic. 487, 50, 48, 75, roll to 490, and then working our way up close to 500. I think the high for this week could be close to 500. I think kind of like Microsoft, like we saw with Amazon, which where I say we haven't seen Microsoft yet, but I should say when I'm talking here, Google just did it. But Microsoft just did it as well. Finally get out of that channel that is created and kind of work our way up. So Meta overall, my low for the week would be somewhere around the 450 to 455 mark. I could see high for the week easily around 500 or at least in the 490s, low 490s. Microsoft slowly moving as well, which is nice, and finally got that big move on Friday. I'd say the low for the week back under 419 and 418 down to 416. We won't get any lower than 415 to 416. Kind of the high in that run that we created on earnings, and then we also created last week before we surged over it. That's my low of the week. For the high of the week, I think we could surge up over 421.21, which is crazy. That is all-time highs as well. We could hit, in my opinion, 425 easily, if not 430. Ultimate high of the week, somewhere right around 430 for Microsoft, 428.75. Get to NFLX again, right? Earnings came out, and this is kind of set sideways, honestly, for the most part, too. To me, if we can ever get back over 570, 575, this will race to 580. Over 580 could hit 585. Maybe we get that this week. This could be another low week, and then finally when NVDA's earnings come out, for whatever reason, it surges with it a little bit or something. Because for a minute the NFLX was trying to catch up to NVDA, and now it's like now it's instead of that, it's kind of like, it reminds me of the home run race in '98, where it was like King Griffey had King Griffey, Sosa, and McGuire. This was like King Griffey Jr. Great year. He was with them for a while, and now it's the SMCI and the NVDA show. It's the Sammy. Let's be honest, the one pure badass guy that was legit wasn't on anything. You got to give King Griffey. They should go take the titles back from Sosa and McGuire and give it to Griffey. Anyway, but then the guys that were steroided up. But that's SMCI and NVDA. I think overall, the high of the week, I still think we flutter around, don't get any higher than 575 to 580 for Netflix. For the low, 555 is so crucial. 555, 554 so crucial. If we crack that, we're through 550 in my opinion to 548.75, 548, then possibly down to 545. Low of the week, 550 to 545. Now again, back to NVDA that we just talked about earlier. I'm still going with fluctuation a little bit, but still most likely up and away. I talked about this being a magnet to 700. We got it, baby. Of course, you go back to last week when I was doing this, I saw no higher than this, and I knew it. And we were already there on Monday, which was awesome. Like a day later, we were at 700. It helped with the massive gap up, obviously, as well. I think this week, the lowest we get is somewhere around 695 to 700. If we fluctuate, even getting back through 710 and 708, that's going to be tough. Resistance, and then whammy, getting back through this, and that's going to be tough. So I think my low of the week probably most likely doesn't get lower than 710, but I'll give it some range because this boy it's a mover. I say we don't get any lower than 695. High for the week, NVDA could hit 750. NVDA could easily hit 750 this week by like another big Friday in anticipation for the run-up in the earnings report the following week. I'll go 750, somewhere right around there. NVDA high of the week, 750. Let's go over real quickly to... I forgot you can only keep so many of these tickers in there. I wish you could just have as many tickers. Like, you put an extra one in, it got rid of SMCI. SMCI, the squeeze that is, it's at 748 now. We traded this, was my one badass trade on Friday. We walked this up to 740. Over 748, 750 here. This rolls, in my opinion. As you see here last week, we started the week off below 600 and we're at 748. Below 600, we're at 748. That's a $150 week. I think SMCI, 875 is where I would go with the high. 875 is where I think this ends up close to next week. 875. 875 for SMCI. Got to work its levels up. 750. Over 750 to 775, 785 to 800, over 800, you're going to run to about 850, then to 875. I think there'll be some fluctuation days where we go up and down, or even some days where maybe like this, right? But we still end up going up for the week. Overall high of the week, 875. Overall low of the week, maybe we go down. I doubt we do. I think we continue to surge. We were just at 400 just like 2 weeks ago. So I think we go up and away. But if not, watch for the downside back under 725 to 715. Under 715 down to 700 and a hair below it. Could find its way all the way down to 660. I don't think we get any lower than 660. If we do, we hit this reversal area right there at 625 or so, 627. Let's go real quickly to the last but not least here. I'm just going to do, I'll do Qs. I'll do Qs as well because I know we got some Q traders. Q, I had a feeling. There we go. Up and away as well. I forgot what I said on Friday was going to be my ultimate high of day. But great move up for Qs there. Overall, massive mover. You can even see last week, Monday, even after a couple big reversals down to 726 or 5426, we still made our way up $10+ from that. I think ultimate high of the week over 438. I don't think it's going to move up too much this week. I would go about 445, maybe 450 though, but I would go with 445. Kind of the same week as last week. Could see some fluctuation days, but maybe we get that overall big surge like we did on the SPY and have those 2 big days. I think we get more fluctuation this week though. Again with the SPY, we may not get any higher than 440 in my opinion. Now could get higher than that honestly, and that'd be take it to 445. But I would go 440 and maybe a hair over it. Maybe 442.50, ultimate high of the week. But we could get up to 445. For the low of the week, again, I think we get fluctuation. We probably won't see any lower than 433. Somewhere right through here. Ultimate big crazy low of the week. Maybe we do get a pullback. Take us somewhere between 430 and 431. I bet we don't get any lower because of the fluctuation. We don't get any lower than that 433-ish mark. Tesla, look at that daily downtrend broke. Spoke about this throughout the week. Had that daily downtrend in, came up to it on Tuesday, broke out of it, held it on Wednesday, come up and go up from there. I'd say overall, if and when we get over 196, which has kind of been the high in the run since we've dumped down, I would say over 196, we have room to 200 and then back up to 205. Over 205, it's going to be tough to get through like the 206, 207, 208 area. Somewhere between 205 to 210 would be my high of week for Tesla. I think we finally maybe start getting some bigger days, but that's once we get over 196. We have to get over that for the bigger days. For the shorts, I just think it's going to be a choppier day or choppier on the way up, or if we go down or have even red days, I don't see us getting any lower than 185. Watch for low of day after low of day after low of day to crack. So under 180 essentially, somewhere right around there, 189 or 190, I should say, to 189. Watch for a pullback, in my opinion, to the day before, 185.75, and then the day before, right around 183. Right? I don't see us getting back below that downtrend. I'd go right around this low to this low, somewhere between 183 to 185. My low of the week for Tesla. Be back at this again next week. We will be off on Monday for President's Day. Teams will have a great weekend. This is Super Bowl Sunday. Releasing this today, actually, so enjoy the Super Bowl. Get out with friends and family, or just enjoy it by yourself. Watch the commercials. Not really, caring too much about the Super Bowl in itself. Just hoping for a good game. I hope, honestly, the 49ers win. Kind of tired of the Chiefs winning. Eat. Watch all the crazy drunks out there. Drink responsibly. I'll see you all back here tomorrow morning. Or maybe you're watching on Monday morning for Money Monday, team. Have a great weekend. The rest of your weekend and Super Bowl Sunday. Signing off one more time with a little bangarang. I don't want the dogs to go nuts. See you later, team.